time for some Alan Wake. Start of chapter 4. Though I did look around last week, and yes, there are coal mines in Washington. And I was wrong. Chapter 4 is not the final chapter. Alan Wake. Chapter 5 is. I did not look at plot, so. Press any key. Continue the game.
Previously on Alan Wake, I'm hunted by the law.
Sheriff, Wake's running. I'm giving chase.
Are you seriously telling me that Ryder just took out my deputies?
A thriller I supposedly wrote is coming true. The genre of the story seems to be shifting. It's turning into a horror story. I was told that Alice had been kidnapped, but that was a lie.
We don't have his wife. We don't know where she is.
Her purported kidnapper was eaten up by the dark presence before it attacked me.
The truth.
Alan, shh, baby. It was
Alice?
just a nightmare.
Alice.
I don't believe it.
Hartman. I fell.
I had to give you a sedative. Don't fight it. You went through another rough period.
What?
Right now, it's very important that you stay calm. We don't want you to have another episode. You're a patient at my clinic. Have been for a while now. The shock of your wife's death triggered a mental illness.
No, you're lying.
You're suffering from various symptoms of undifferentiated schizophrenia.
Bastard.
It's okay, Alan. Just let go.
I don't buy it for a second. Alright, where are we?
I felt groggy. Whatever Hartman had bumped in me was making me numb. I felt like this was happening to someone else. Someone I was watching on television. I couldn't think. Couldn't focus.
Ooh. And yes, everything is out of focus. If he's in the clinic, why is he in... Holy mackerel, Alan. I just noticed this. But how many... You have a shirt, a hoodie, a jacket.
Good evening, Alan. Are we
No.
feeling better now? Feeling calm?
Yeah. I see you brought your pet gorilla with you. So sure, I'm calm. I get the message. Loud and clear.
Quite right. That's the spirit. You're being very brave, Alan. I understand you're confused. I would be more concerned if you weren't suspicious of me. I don't blame you for it.
Big of you.
Now, why don't you come with me? We'll reacquaint you with my clinic and go over everything you might have forgotten. Little walk and some fresh air? Yes, it will do you good.
Oh, we got a typewriter. Oh, this is the typewriter. This is the room that he was writing the story in, we see on the TV. Oh, where'd he go?
This corridor is for patients. Most of them aren't here right now. Jack took them out for a fishing trip, except for the ones who are particularly vulnerable, of course. I encourage creativity as a part of the recovery process here at Cauldron Lake Lodge. I specialize in treating artists.
I bet you do.
Splendid, Alan. I honestly believe we can get this thing under control if we work together.
He works for the darkness.
This way, Alan.
Anderson.
Now, Alan, from past experience with you, I know I need to get right into the heart of the matter as quickly as I can after an episode. So I'm just going to say this. Alice is dead.
No.
You're in a very vulnerable state until you understand and accept this. Alice drowned, and you couldn't face that. You're suffering from hallucinations, paranoid delusions, unusual thinking, an obsession about light and darkness, a feeling that everything revolves around you, your thoughts and dreams. Your mind has constructed an elaborate fantasy scenario in which your writings are affecting reality. She has been kidnapped, and supernatural forces of darkness are trying to stop you. We go this way, Alan.
I wasn't ready for another shot, so I went along with it. He had to be lying. But under the influence of the drug he had given me, I had to fight not to believe his words.
It's all in your head. You've been making it up. Apart from the tragic accident with your wife, no one has been killed. Your delusions are just a manifestation of your subconscious mind trying to protect you from the too painful truth. Unless we fight the fantasy, it will return. I know the instinct is to resist me, but think about it. Doesn't this make far more sense than the insane supernatural conspiracy you have concocted in your mind? You're a skeptic by nature, Alan. We both know this. Everything can be explained logically.
Well, that's a big sundial. Beyond the shadow you settle for, there is a miracle illuminated. T.Z. Thomas Zane. The memory of a dear friend and poet. In Tebris Sierras. Cauldron Lake Lodge, 1912.
I never get tired of this view. Very inspiring, isn't it?
Cauldron Lake spread below us. I could see Mirror Peak on the other side of the lake. I thought I could make out the spot where Diver's Isle had been when I arrived with Alice. Now there was nothing but waves.
It
Storm's coming in.
seems there's a storm coming. Funny, I don't recall there being a mention of that in the weather forecast. Well, no matter. This way. Follow me. Alan, what I'm telling you is good news. Right now we're in control. Every time you have a relapse, it gets more and more difficult to resurface from the dark depths of your imagination. Not surprising, considering your profession. Imagination is what you work with. After all your nightmares, this should come as an immense relief to you. If it doesn't, why is that? Because I'm lying? Or because you don't want to admit that you're not well? It's very natural for you to think of me as your enemy. It's part of the illness.
I let him
After
talk.
all,
Hartman
I'm the one
obviously
trying
loved
to
his
bring
own
you
voice.
out of the
His
world
words
you've
echoed
constructed for
madly
yourself.
inside my head.
But I can't
I dug my
do it
nails
by
into the
myself
palms of my
now.
hands to stay
You need
focused.
to work with me. Once you accept that, we can begin the journey towards your recovery. Come along. Let's go inside. Now, here's the entrance to the office wing. That's for staff only. You were impressed by my trophies when you first arrived here. I do love to hunt. The great outdoors, man versus nature. It's wonderful stuff.
Pretty damn wonderful, yeah.
You're an asshole.
Scary, scary, scary.
Emerson.
I'm a real bad dream, mister. You should be afraid of me. Don't want to run into me in the night, that's for sure.
Please, Emerson. Mr. Wake is confused enough as it is.
Yeah, you'd like me to go away so you won't be scared. But you can't just decide what kind of dream you have or when you have it.
Emerson,
Okay, sorry. Boo.
La 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 la
Elbow strike.
la la
Ooh, yeah.
Bear.
come, Alan. This way. Now. You might have noticed the typewriter in your room. You've been writing as a part of the therapy. As soon as you feel up to it, you should continue.
More bears. Welcome to the Cauldron Lake Lodge. We're here to give you the specialized help you need. However, please observe the following. Please ask friends and family to schedule visits beforehand to ensure that they don't interfere with your therapy or periods of creativity. Also, please respect your fellow patients' need for privacy and personal space, especially when they're engaged in their creative process. Be patient. Typically, our patients have long-term creative problems that they won't be solved overnight. Give yourself permission to take the time you need. Bear in mind that you're voluntarily receiving treatment that you've been specifically tailored for your engagement therapy, registered trademark, and its sister method, the flow, registered trademark. Work best when they're active, engaged, and shaping them. If you have any concerns, please don't hesitate to voice them. Dining room.
My rheumatism's killing me. There's a storm coming. Oh, what a storm.
I hope it wipes this place off the face of the earth.
And these two are the Anderson brothers, Odin and Thor. They had how should I put this? A heavy metal band in the 70s and 80s called Old Gods of Asgard. They even adopted new first names to complete the image of Viking gods. After the band broke up, they lived on a farm nearby.
Night
They
Springs.
are, well, in advanced stages of dementia. They're well cared for, TLC and all that. There's nothing more that can be done. I'm afraid that the rock and roll lifestyle has left its mark.
Oh, and Odin's the one that hit the nurse with the
Oh,
hammer.
that won't do. I'm so sorry to cut this short for now, Alan. The power has been acting up. I'd better go check on it. We'll continue this soon. Meanwhile, when you feel up to it, return to your room and try to write. It really is for the best. Don't you think?
No, I don't.
I'd like to bash his head in with a hammer.
Oh, he'd love to fish out our secrets, but he has no clue. He's not crazy enough. Not crazy like us, Sonny.
Odin, with the one eye.
Being crazy's a requirement, Sonny. Who else could understand the world when it's like this? It takes crazy to know crazy.
That's the sanest thing I've heard in a while.
Zane! You're all right, Tom. Hey, we like him, don't we, bro? He's got to go to the farm.
The Anderson Farm. Valhalla!
We wrote it all down, lest we'd forget. A crash course. All you need to know to get your head right. You need to find the message.
Here, Sonny, here's something for you. Gave me a rash, but I kept it safe from these bastards.
My head was clearing up, or according to Hartman, I was sinking back into the fantasy. I was convinced he was lying to me about everything. Crazy or not, the Andersons made more sense.
Tom Zane's writing an assistant.
Zane could feel the poems, taking form, shaping things. As he experimented, he imagined he could almost feel the power surging through the keys of the typewriter. It exhilarated him. But there was fear, too. If not for his young assistant, Emil, he would have given it up. But Emil convinced him otherwise. He, too, had a way with words.
Emil, but not Barbara.
Tom, you got any booze on you?
Yeah, no.
We
Sorry,
have a
guys.
stash of the special stuff at the farm. Our own formula. Local ingredients. Medicine clears your head right up. Makes you remember like moonbeams on the brain.
I already read that.
Tom just lost is all. Baba Yaga got to him too, the damn witch.
He's checking on it now.
Yeah, good thing he's not overreacting or anything.
Well, he's the boss.
I may need a hand here later on, Birch. The storm's bound to make you-know-who jumpy. You know how they get.
Gotcha. The doc's got me looking after Wake here, but holler if they get too rowdy.
I'll do that, Birch.
Something's wrong. I'm not myself. It's hard to think that there's a shadow inside my head. I can only focus on writing. Everything else is a blur. I'm trapped in this cabin. Have been for days, but it's always dark outside. My editor is real. I saw her again. She's not human. It's not human. A dark presence is wearing the old woman's face. She was covered in clinging shadows. There's a hole in her chest where her heart should be. I think I've made a horrible mistake. I don't think I'm any closer to saving Alice. It's been lying to me, using me to get the story it wants, and the story will come true.
Well, that's not good. No. QR code. Where's my phone? Where's my phone? QR code goes to alanwake.com.
Hartman wanted me to write. I knew I couldn't, but I figured I should just play along for now. It was the only thing I could do with Nurse Birch watching me like a hawk. Hartman had mentioned that the power had been acting up. Maybe that was the reason for the generator and the work light on the balcony. The generator hadn't been activated, and there was no key.
I just saw a thermos. Okay, I'll return to my room. Sheesh. Nag, nag, nag.
Hey, Wake, why don't you humor Dr. Hartman and give the writing a shot, huh? Typewriter's in your room.
Who the hell just said that? Night Springs. It's a PS4 game, Xbox 360 game. Night Springs. Whoever's in here is a gamer. Don't know if that means anything. Whose room was that? That was Emerson's room. Lane. Lane is a painter. And DeSoul's room is locked. So I'll go back to my room.
The white glare of the blank page in front of me hurt my eyes. My hands began to shake uncontrollably.
Everybody, calm down. Put that down. Bert, I need help.
Hey, Wake, you stay here. I'm gonna go see what's up. You just keep doing what you're doing. Be cool, okay?
And why didn't you lock the door?
I didn't know what the chaos was all about, but it could be my only chance of getting out of here.
Where the hell did he get a damn hammer? Hammer's up. Here's a friendly poke. Mjolnir, wench. Oh, afraid of the crazy brothers, are ya? Not so weak now, are we? Well, things are unraveling fast, aren't they? Ha ha! Nah! Ah! Ha ha!
Yep, found a page. Barry in the
Hartman
lodge.
kept talking, giving Barry the grand tour, clearly proud of the place. He went on and on about his hunting trophies, and Barry was impressed. But he was here on business. He raised his voice, cut through the monologue. Hey, Hartman, where's Al? Hartman stopped in mid-sentence, annoyed at the interruption. He nodded at the hulking orderly standing nearby. The man smiled and clapped a practiced hand on Barry's shoulder.
It's my storm. I'm taking it. We're on a comeback tour, baby!
Way will have its say rise up in their name!
Sinclair looked bad. That wasn't a love tap. The crazy old fart hit her hard. And if she was one of Hartman's goons, she had it coming. I could get the key to the office ring from Sinclair.
Come out and face the music, Birch!
I had to get to Hartman's office. He had taken all my manuscript pages. That's where he'd been keeping them.
Maybe you could come out and beat our wrinkled, adult, diapered asses for us, since you're so tough, Birch. We were on the road, man. You think we haven't seen bugs like you?
The markings on the tape said they were recordings Hartman had made at the sessions with his patients. I saw Alice's name on one of them. For a moment, I couldn't breathe right.
Now, Mrs. Wake, can you tell me about Alan's problems?
He's more and more out of control all the time. The parties, he's so angry all the time. He's getting violent.
Do you mean with you?
No, not with me. No, never. Sometimes I almost wish Alan would take a swing at me, because at least that lead to a conversation he couldn't just march out of. But no. Alan doesn't really sleep. And the work, well, he's not writing at all. He sits there for hours and just gets more and more frustrated. And I can't talk to him.
Yes. Tell me, Mrs. Wake, what would you say to him if he'd listen?
I don't know. I want to say, I look at you, and it's not you. Just some stranger who resembles you. Looking out from behind your eyes, and I don't like that guy much. And now it's all gonna go to hell.
But you don't ever say this.
No. I've tried, but he's not listening. He's too deep in his own problems, always going on about something else. I'm so afraid I'm gonna lose him, and we're not even talking anymore. He doesn't let me in anymore. He just keeps me in the dark. I'm so alone here, even when he's home. Please help me, Doctor, because I'm at my wit's end.
Well, if you can just get him here, I'll absolutely do my very best.
Yeah, but Doctor, you need to be careful with him. He's not just going to listen to you and cooperate. He's the most stubborn man I've ever met.
Well, I'll be sure to bear that in mind.
Hearing her voice, what she was saying made me happy and sick and guilty all at once. Worst of all, I recognized the words. The phone call from her. It had been a cut-up of this. Just a recording.
Rudolph Lane's case is interesting. He was completely blocked, and frankly, I was about to discard him as useless. However, once Wake arrived and started writing, something changed in Rudolph. He's producing extraordinary work, increasingly dark pieces. Unfortunately, he doesn't respond to direction at all, and it's my belief that he's not so much a creator as an illustrator, perhaps, a recorder of sorts. I hadn't considered the existence of such a role before, let alone its implications, but the paintings he has produced are informative. At least he's easily controlled and useful. I wish I could say the same about Wake. It's frustrating that the best subjects are always so damn difficult to deal with.
Not buying that. I was tailing Wheeler, and this is the only place he could have gone. That means Wake is probably there too!
Agent Nightingale, this is private property, and I will not allow you to disturb my patients.
Yeah? I can get a warrant. How would your fragile little patients like that?
Oh, I'm thoroughly intimidated by your mighty authority now, Agent.
Listen, you smug snob. How would you like it if I busted through this gate and knocked you around a little?
Agent Nightingale, first of all, I'm recording this conversation, so you might want to watch what you say. Secondly, you're not dealing with a hick now. I know the law, and if you can get a judge to grant a warrant, I'll be glad to cooperate. But you won't get one. Be advised that any further communications with me are to be made through my lawyer.
I don't believe this.
Good day, Agent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The photo on the wall caught my attention. In it, the clinic staff was standing outside the lodge. I knew the man next to Hartman. He was the kidnapper. Hartman had been playing me all along.
Let me out of here! Hartman, do you hear me? I'm gonna sue your crazy quack ass to shreds! Seriously! Do you have any idea how much trouble you're in?
Barry?
Ow! About time!
Barry! Man, am I glad to see you.
We need to get to Hartman's office.
It's right next door.
You okay?
Yeah. I mean, no! The cops found me at Rose's trailer, but they didn't hassle me too much. I'm up.
Oops.
These were all the pages I had on me. And more.
Barry.
Alan, please. You're sliding back into the...
Tell me one more lie and I'll shoot you in the face.
Ah, well, it was worth a shot. Really, Wake, come on. Let's work together on this. You have no idea...
Hartman, shut up! Barry, get out of here. I'll catch up with you. Get a car.
Oh, Al, let's just...
Go!
Wake, listen to me. This is a mistake. Don't you see? Together we can create something absolutely wonderful. With your ability and mine.
Oh, that's the person who slammed the door in front of. And he had the smile on his face when he did it. The darkness.
The dark presence would be on me in a moment. I had to find a way out.
Oh, shit. Whoops. Nope, that's not the way out.
I needed light to get the possessed bookshelves out of my way.
I know where the light is that we need. It's upstairs with the generator. We got a key now. Japanese drifting? Okay. Oh, Hartman watches Wake fall.
Hartman followed the fall of Alan Wake with his binoculars. When the rider hit the water, he ordered Jack to take the boat to him. The spot was easy to see in the dark, even with all the extra lights in the boat. The flare floated and kept burning even in the water. Jack turned the radio louder as the engine sputtered. The music was rough and clanking, something the Anderson brothers would no doubt have enjoyed. But Hartman chose to ignore it. Wake was finally within his reach. Hartman knew he was no creator. He had no ambitions on that front, and he certainly didn't want to end up like every artist he had worked with here, damaged in ways that were hard to describe, or worse. It was enough for Hartman to maintain creative control and provide direction, to be a producer. That was what most of these people were in need of anyway. Of course, suitable subjects were few and far in between.
Want access to thousands of applications? Verizon Wireless has you covered.
Hartman wasn't happy. Mott could see it in his eyes. He quickly lowered his own. He had made a mess of it, and he knew it. The shame of failure was hard to bear. He hadn't expected Wake to say he needed more time, and he blurted out 2 days, less than Wake had asked for, to show him who was in charge. But that wasn't part of Hartman's plan.
Check out the latest games. Discover new music and old favorites.
Darkness is really coming. Can't go that way. The darkness is that way. Window? Nope. Where's the key to the door? I thought I had the master key. Hello. How you doing? Come on. Ball of doom. Ball of death and doom and destruction. Come on. Bash in the doors for me. I know you want to. There it comes. that didn't work. That door don't open. That door don't open. Gotta get the ball of doom to open it for us. There we go. See ya, sucker.
Ow! I'm here!
Barry.
I found the car, but the gate's locked. You're gonna have to go through the hedge maze over there.
Barry, I don't have a light.
Take this, Al!
Take this, Al.
Oh,
Thanks,
God!
Barry.
Look at the house, Al! Look out! Oh, geez, Al! The house looks bad! Let's get out of here!
Claire, and I have to go through the hedge maze. Yeah, that's nice. Just what I want to do. Go through a maze in the dark. Nothing but a flashlight. And a pistol.
Al, hurry up! I can hear those evil guys moving around!
Sheesh. A lot of mortar oil sitting around down here. That's not good for a garden. Oops. More batteries. Oh, great. Don't trust Emil. Okay. Who's Emil? Wake sees the old
I
gods.
stared at the Viking paraphernalia that littered the area, surrounding an unlikely centerpiece. A full-size stage complete with an impressive sound system with all the trimmings, including a dragon. It took a special kind of crazy to build something like this in a remote field. When the sky split open with a deafening boom and the music started blasting, it felt strangely appropriate.
The farm. Two crazy brothers. Well, he's got more batteries, more ammo. But fortunately,
Be careful! I can see them moving around! They're coming for you!
got to reload my weapon. caught on the geometry. Oh, really? All the way back to here? Why not simply jump the fence, huh? No, we have to run through a maze.
Al, hurry up! I can hear those evil guys moving around!
So can I. Don't trust Emil. Okay. Oh no, it was back this way. Manuscript page.
Al, be careful! I can see them moving around! They're coming for you!
And there's be like a bunch of them coming out here, right? Down to 6 bullets and a flare. And 6, well, luckily 6 batteries still. Dead end? No. Well, yes, but also manuscript page. Hartman and the power failure.
Hartman hurried down the corridor. He had disliked leaving Wake when he was surely at his most susceptible to therapy. But this was not an ordinary storm. Wake had been writing, and he had woken something up in the depths of the lake. Now, it was coming for him. Hartman had naturally prepared for a situation like this.
Ooh, Hartman knew about the
brothers
darkness.
would keep Wake distracted while Hartman double-checked everything, just to be sure.
That was the brothers arguing over which TV channel to watch. Or the brothers been taken? More ammo. Good. Oh, we're not out of the maze yet.
You get 2 pills in the morning, and then you'll be nice and calm all day long. You get 3 pills in the evening. You sleep like a baby.
birds.
You get 2 pills in the morning, and then you'll be nice and cool. You get 3 pills in the evening. Oh, man. You feel like a baby.
Ah, crap. Trying to get by him to get to the supply box, but I think this guy is the mini boss.
You get 2 pills in the morning, and then you'll be nice and cool. You get 3 pills in the evening. Oh, man. You feel like a baby. What seems to be yours? That makes me having trouble.
Well, at least he was a one bullet wonder. Down to my last battery. Oh, for a second there I thought those flagstones were manuscript pages. Any pages hiding around here? Don't look like it. There's a bright light up ahead, so that means checkpoint. Anything? Ooh, shotgun. Ooh, and a manuscript page. Mott in charge.
Mott knew that Wake was smarter than him. Wake had more money, a beautiful wife, everything. And Hartman said Wake was important. That made him better than Mott. But Mott was calling the shots now. He'd expected Wake to whimper and grovel, but instead, he seemed willing to fight. Mott knew he'd gotten under Wake's skin. If only Mott actually had his wife. The thought made him shiver.
Mott was the guy that was claiming to be the kidnapper. Oh crap, more damn birds. There's no batteries in here? Crap. I hate to do it, but I think I'm going to have to backtrack to find batteries. There's 3 of those guys. No. Three of them in. Only 1 battery. Oh yeah, this ain't gonna go good. Alright, so instead of heading left at the top, we head right. Yes, I know I'm out of batteries. Ah, frack, just as I get the flare off. Alright, one last try, then we're going to call it a night. We'll take it up again tomorrow. You pick up the flare. Ah, fudge. Alright. We're going to call that a night. We'll take it up again tomorrow. Yes, I'm sure I want to quit. Good night, everybody.